the inspiration. Because if you do not understand what is Buddha, how is Buddha, then why are you practicing Buddhism? Because Buddhism means you are trying to become Buddha, practicing Buddhism. Other religion practice might mean like you want to go to in front of God or with God, but maybe you are not trying to become God. But like God is always powerful than you. But Buddha is like similar like us. But he tried hard, he worked hard, he became Buddha. He wants us to become like him. He has reached that place. He wants us to come there. Like for your Nepal visit also, like first time you might have seen in some website or some friend of you have said like, oh, Nepal is beautiful, it's wonderful, you should go once. So when they inspired you, you wanted to come Nepal, and today you are in Nepal. In the same way, Buddha was suffering like us. He worked hard, he became Buddha, he wants us to become Buddha. So normally Buddha is described in many ways, and normally who is free of suffering. He has overcome his suffering, and he is not just overcome his suffering, he is able to overcome all of our suffering. He is able to liberate all of us. So that is the position or state which we also need to be, and we should also want to be in that state. Because when we have no suffering, we know how people are suffering, where people should be, or not just people, all the sentient beings. And also Buddha is regarded as who have purified all his defects. So he has no defect and full of qualities. So without defect and full of qualities is what like the term Buddha also mentions. There is like Buddha and Buddha. These two sound means one means like empty of defects and full of qualities. So when we are free of defects and full of qualities, that means we are perfect. So he became perfect, we need to become perfect. So I think for now we might not need to describe Buddha much. Yeah, normally he is also considered a conqueror. So he is the biggest conqueror. Maybe Hitler might not be the conqueror. What else? Like maybe some Julius Caesar or something, right? He is also one great ancient conqueror. So they are like materialistic, physical conqueror. They conquered some countries and nations, lands. And what Buddha conquered is like inner war. Inner war is difficult. Like even Julius Caesar and Hitler conquered the world because they were unable to conquer their own mind, their mental battle. Because they were selfish, they were ignorant, they were conservative. So they have so many mental afflictions which inspired them to conquer the world. But conquering the world does not solve all the problems. When you are able to conquer your own mental, emotional afflictions, like your anger, attachment, desire, they were driven by the desire to win the world, the land of the world. So Buddha overcome his suffering because he was able to win the battle of mind, win against the desire, attachment, anger, hatred, greed, and most importantly, the selfness. So he conquered with the affliction of selfness, and he won the battle of like grasping and clinging. He got rid of clinging and grasping, so he was the biggest conqueror. So that's how we describe Buddha in many different dimensions or way, and the goal for us needs to be attaining Buddhahood, enlightenment, and the Dharma is his teachings, which is able to liberate us. Like when we are talking about Buddha liberating us, it's not real the Buddha who liberates us, it's the teaching. Buddha is not taking like, okay, you are in the animal realm, I will put you into God realm. Oh, you are into demigod realm, I will put you into the Buddha's field. That does not happen. So, like from beginning to the end, Buddha had made it clear that it's you who is supposed to be responsible for everything, your suffering and your happiness. So, if you do not work hard, you will not be able to attain any happiness, any Buddhahood. So, nobody is able to liberate you unless you work for yourself. So, that's very clear from Buddha's teaching. So that's why, like, we can understand the importance of teaching, and normally the teaching is of the Dharma is of like in two categories, which is in the books and which is in the mind, mental stream. So like the Dharma teachings I am speaking now, I'm not looking into the books. That means is into my brain, at least brain. But if I am implementing the teachings I am speaking about, that means it's into my practice, it's into my mind. So that's the most important teaching. Like when that is into somebody's mind, into practice, that's how the teaching will survive and it will help other beings. And the other one is books. So the teaching which are in books, and generally we call it Tripitaka. Three categories of the teachings is called Tripitaka in Sanskrit, which is of number one is Sutra, Vinaya, and Abhidharma. Those are the three sets of teachings. In Tibetan, when we speak about Kangyur, the whole Buddha's teachings in Tibetan language is Kangyur. Kangyur is made of Ka and Gyur. Ka means the Buddha's word, Gyur means translated. So anyhow, so this whole teachings of Buddha in books is the teaching or the Dharma. Dharma as written evidence and Dharma as in the mind stream. So number three is the Sangha, and Sangha we need to understand the importance of Sanghas. And we are receiving the service from whole three jewels, but it's main Sangha. Sangha is the representation of all of this, because Buddha we can definitely not meet or in personally. Teachings we can read in the books, but we need guidance, we need teachers. So that's why like Sangha is the most important in one sense. And in one sense we also say like our root teacher, our main teacher is even greater than the Buddha, because he is the one who has the compassion on me. Buddha generally had compassion for all the sentient beings, generally, but like he did not have direct compassion on us. Otherwise he should have lived 2600 years till now. We did not have that fortune to see Buddha, to listen him directly. But we are fortunate enough to meet our own teachers, our destined teachers. And whatever they have done for us is like whatever we deserved. So That's like thanks to them. And also like Sangha is also like where we interact directly, like where we get the teachings. And also Sangha is the representation where we also provide service. This also one thing people should understand, because when there is not social support for monastery, like today you asked like how the big monastery in that place is like funded, how the fund for that monastery comes, how the fund for this monastery came. So if there is no social support, then the monastery probably cannot happen. So by saying this, I also kind of like suggest my own local people, like better to offer to Sangha members who learn, who study, who practice, rather than offering to some statue. Like Nepali people, we offer lots of offering in the statues also, like food or money to the statue, but that becomes useless. So I think that is pretty much enough for the 3 jewels, and it's not like worshipping some god, it's just having refuge in them, because by practicing dharma, by meeting our Sangha, we want to become Buddha. So this is like object of becoming also. And also Sangha is supposed to be, Sangha or teachers are supposed to be like friend. So they help us. They help us understand and realize the teachings who was given by the Buddha, founded by Buddha. So I think that will be enough idea or knowledge for understanding 3 jewels. And also difference between Buddhism and other religion we consider is like taking refuge in the 3 jewels. If we take refuge in 3 jewels, then we are Buddhist and traditionally Buddhist also. And if we do not have refuge in these 3, then we might be practically Buddhist, but not traditionally Buddhist. So the 9 vehicles also, I think, as it's already too long maybe. So the 9 vehicles, number 1 is Shavakyana, the listener's vehicle. So listener's vehicle is listen, like it's called listeners, but anyhow, it's generally considered the listeners, and the second vehicle to the Theravada. So while we consider the first 2 vehicle to Theravada is like they practice the basic Buddhism, they learn, they understand basic Buddhism, they apply the formal values and precepts and practice of basic Buddhism. And also we talked about the precepts. So the outer precepts is more important in this vehicle, because as we consider, like Mahayana practices more inner, and Vajrayana, the highest vehicle, is not only inner, it's like sacred. So also we consider the Theravada or the first 2 vehicle as the outer vehicle, and the Mahayana as inner vehicle, and the Vajrayana as the sacred vehicle. So you maybe study and understand maybe normally also, but your practice should be sacred. Your practice and your experience from those practice, your accomplishments are all secret. They are supposed to be kept sacred. Also, like from the teacher's part also, like the students who are not deserving or not suitable to understand that teachings, the teachers is also not supposed to teach you, because you should keep it sacred. Your discipline is to keep sacred. And when you have suitable disciple, you need to again reveal that teaching to that person. So the first vehicle is a listener's vehicle, and the second is Pratyak Buddha, as like it's called Pratyak Buddha. It's like it's like some certain people who experiment and experience the practice in their own way, and they also realize in their own way in some extent. So it's kind of complicated to understand the second vehicle. And the third one is the Mahayana vehicle.
The second one is Hinayana.
Sir?
The second one is called Hinayana.
Hinayana was considered to be the Theravada, but Hinayana sounds like not good, so everybody mentions Theravada. So the third vehicle is Mahayana, and after that there is like 6 vehicles. The other middle 3 is outer Vajrayana, and the last 3 is inner Vajrayana. There is this Kriya Yoga, Charya Yoga, Kriya Yoga, Charya Yoga, Upayoga. So those are the 3 outer Mantrayana or Vajrayana, and the inner 3 are called Mahayoga, Anuyoga, Atiyoga. So I think normal mention of this, normal information will be enough, but what we need to understand regarding the 9 vehicle of this is, especially is like Tibetan version of like Tibetan perspective, Tibetan Buddhist, and even from Tibetan Buddhist perspective is like more of the Nyingma school perspective, Nyingmapa, because we are supposed to be preserving the highest level of teachings, which is like by practicing that you are able to realize very fast, or like accomplish the enlightenment very fast, very soon. But it's also dangerous. If you do a very slight mistake, then it will be like darkness forever for you. So also need to be very careful with that, which nowadays many people don't take care of. It's very dangerous also. They know it is beneficial, is very fast, you can learn and understand and realize, but you don't understand that it's dangerous. And also, like as a beginner should always be humble and try to go step by step. If you have proper teacher, you always, like whatever teacher guides you, go as in the same way. You don't try to learn this and that. And I think if you have a proper teacher, if you trust in that teacher, then I think teacher will show you the way as you deserve. But nowadays what happens is, provide me this course, this certificate, this degree, and apart from that, I want to study this, please teach me this, please teach me that. But like if one is a good teacher, if you are like one suitable student, then this teacher should be able to judge how much suitable are you. So this proper teacher will guide you in like step by step. And by saying this, like for the beginners who have already introduced to Tibetan Buddhism, to Nyingmapa, do not get confused by when you only learn the basic Buddhism. Like when you get into some traditional Buddhism, then like there's many basic Buddhism practitioners and basic Buddhism school which say like Mahayana and Vajrayana is unethical. So they are not the Buddha's teaching. they do not liberate us. They are wrong teachings. So when you say Mahayana teaching and Vajrayana teaching is wrong, okay, Vajrayana is difficult to understand. Better not criticize Vajrayana also. But it's okay if you are unable to understand Vajrayana. It's like one fable story of jackal tries to reach the grapes and he tries whole day and he cannot reach the grapes. And what he says is, the grapes are sour anyway. Grapes are bitter anyway. So in that manner, I think you can say Vajrayana is unethical. Okay, but I think you don't call Mahayana unethical, because like the best teaching ever possible is, I think, Mahayana. Like the compassion, the core is compassion, and the emptiness. All of this comes from the Mahayana. So, but you should go step by step and basic Buddhism. So that's why, like, don't stop your journey on some particular limit, particular path. You just keep growing and growing, developing yourself, and at least don't try to abandon the Mahayana practice, because I think Mahayana practice is the best practice. Yeah, I think that's enough. If you have any question, then
it's okay. No, it's clear.
Okay.
You know, I'm okay with Mahayana and Theravada. Vajrayana is quite confused for me, but as you said, it's okay. I don't need to understand it maybe very well now, but I will step by step.
Yeah, also as I previously said, like difference between Mahayana and Theravada or basic is not between their schools and traditions. I said, right? Because even in Theravada school there are Mahayana person. Even in Mahayana school there are Theravada person, because it's intention. Mahayana is what I call is intention by Mahayana. Mahayana by intention, sorry. Because if you want to liberate other sentient beings, if you want to become a Buddha, to be able to liberate others, to overcome others' suffering, then you are already Mahayana. And if you only want to practice for yourself, to overcome your own suffering, then you are like maybe you can say Theravada or something. Yeah, and that's why like it will stop you from becoming a Buddha if you will reach one state, but you will not become a Buddha completely, because it's like my suffering, my happiness. Okay, that's I think enough. Okay.